Gagan, catch. Work. Works for other people on Instagram, not here for us. Anyways.
This might not have worked, but today we guys are talking about Vermouth, and Vermouth works brilliantly with classic cocktails like Negroni and Rob Roy and Americano and those. So why don't we talk about Vermouth today?
Yes, and let's start with the definition. It's a very simple one. Aromatized wine, fortified with some grape or spirit brandy, herb, citrus, some wormwood from where the name comes, and sugar. And that's Vermouth for you.
China is where it is said to have started in 250 BC, but some pin it to even ancient Greece. And what we do know of it in Europe, under the Roman Empire, everybody was drinking Vermouth. And where it comes, get its name from is in Germany, where wormwood, one of the most important elements of its recipe, was called Vermouth. And from there, Italy, France, Spain, everybody took the name and made their own versions of it.
Well, the first written record used to be 1552 BC in Egypt, and there it was recommended for everything: childbirth, chronic illness, take wormwood. And wormwood in 1789 was finally commercialized to give us the drink that we know as absinthe. But right after, people went crazy, or they said they were going crazy and hallucinating because of the wormwood, and even it was causing deaths, so they banned it. And it wasn't until 1988 when a study proved that wormwood only adds color, flavor, and aromas to absinthe. It does not add any madness or hallucinations. Those are just the result of excessive drinking. And hence, wormwood was saved, but absinthe came back.
What a loss to the drinking world. But anyway, we don't know what the original recipe was, but what we do know is the idea was that there was wine, there were other herbs and spices, and wormwood for sure. And definitely the recipe kept on evolving as the days went by. Earlier, maceration was the way in which botanical flavors were added to the wine. Think about adding, loose tea leaves to warm water. That's what maceration is. And now, because of crafty distillation, infusion is used. So in a pot in which there is alcohol at the bottom, which is heated, as the vapors go up, they hit this basket of botanicals, which is always a secret recipe. They seep all the oils out and make a very flavorsome distillate. And how you make a vermouth is very simple. Take wines, take all of this flavored botanicals, and take some sugar, put it all together, and at the end of it, spike it with some grape spirit or brandy, and your vermouth is ready.
Yeah, pretty simple, right? But still, you get 5 different styles of vermouth, and all of them are usually white wine based. Back in the day, they would add caramel to get you the red vermouth, and hence it was called sweet vermouth. But there are vermouths like this one here and some others that actually use red grapes to make it. But just for clarification, white vermouth is dry, red vermouth is sweet.
And talking about the modern vermouths today, all of this madness, all of this dry started somewhere back in Turin in Piedmont, which is known for Barolo Barbaresco, Nutella, Ferrero Rocher, and truffles. And there was a gentleman called Giuseppe Carpano in 1786, 200 years before I was born. He started the recipe and he made a red-looking sweet vermouth, which is where we say the sweet vermouth drive came from. And across the Alps into France in the area of Chambray, and that's where Noipra came, which was a white dry vermouth. Now, even though they are 2 different countries, earlier they were under the Kingdom of Savoy, and that's where all of this came from. And today, Spain is said to be the hub for vermouths, where it is found everywhere, from tapas bars to even other dining places.
The modern history of vermouth begins when in the 18th century, it ends being a medicinal tonic and or a wine, and it becomes a cocktail ingredient in the 19th century. And you've got Rob Roy's, Manhattans, Negronis, the Prohibition era, a lot of vermouth-based cocktails. And then there's one person who now drinks Chateau Angelus and Heineken, but back in the day, he was the original vermouth fan in his martini. And this was James Bond. And what did he have? He had 3 measures of Gordon, 1 measure of vodka, and half a measure of Quina Lillet. This is Lillet, it comes from France, but it doesn't say quina anymore because the original recipe used to have the quinquina bark in it, and it was quinine, and hence again the tonic wine reference, but it doesn't have that since 1986. So you get the white version since then, and you also get a rosé and a red version. Happen to have those here. And that's how his martini was. And James Bond said, I like things which are in big portions, doesn't like small portions, and he has only 1 drink before dinner, so he makes it a strong one.
And it's no more just an ingredient for classic cocktails. Vermouth plus flavored sodas or flavored tonics is the new trend that we see today. One trend that has not stopped from the inception of it is that we still see vermouth bottles at the shelves in the bar. And we always forget that it's not just an ingredient at the bar, it is also a wine in the first place. So always should be refrigerated, always should be kept in cool temperatures because it only lasts a couple of weeks. And going away from James Bond, where he likes his things in big measures, I think Vermouth, at least in India, works in smaller bottles because that way you know that it is always fresh. And talking about India, why don't we produce Vermouths here?
Well, that's a good point. We have wine, we have spices, we have flowers, we have tropical fruits. We are on the spice route. We have sugar everywhere. We have everything needed to make good vermouths. So I think India is very well poised to make some fantastic vermouths, but don't take it from me. Hear this little, very, very famous mixologist from a famous bar tell you about what he does with it.
Hi, my name is Varun Sharma from Comarin, Gurgaon. At Comarin, we serve two styles, light cast vermouth and dark cast vermouth, and we make it with the help of sous vide technique. In light cast vermouth, we take white wine and we fortify it with orange infused gin, flavored with natural ingredients like khasroot, lavender flowers, and green cardamom. In dark cast vermouth, we take red wine and we fortify it with vanilla infused cognac, flavored with natural ingredients like khasroot, chamomile flowers, and star anise. We serve vermouths neat and chilled in an old-fashioned glass, and we are also using it in our bottle cocktails like Khas Vermouth Negroni and Coffee Manhattan.
So Gagan, what vermouths are you holding with you right now?
So I do have the original one, which is the Antica formula. I have something which pretty much defines vermouths now, which is Martini Rosso, the sweeter one. And one of my favorites that I got a few years ago, but opened only recently, which is the Cocky, which is called the Torino di Vermouth or Vermouth di Torino, which basically means that the wormwood and the wine, everything came from Turin, came from Vermouth itself. That's the one that I'm going to use.
Martini even I have, but the others I have is Falset, which is that very French-Spanish border vermouth made with Grenache and Carignan. I showed you I had the Lillet in the white and the rosé version. Very proud of that. This is a very new thing from 2011. This has existed since 86 after the Kina went out. And then another French brand called Dolin, similar classic label. Strangely, all of these use red grapes also. But I thought in the honor of James Bond, let's try the Lillet. What are you tasting there?
I'm tasting the Cocky Vermouth di Torino, which is, as the color also shows, is a little darker one. And as they claim it, it comes from addition of caramel on a base of white wine. So coming from Turin, it might be Cortese, it might be Moscato, who knows?
It looks like that. Honestly, when I saw that vermouth, unlike the ones that I have here, it looks not like a red wine, but like something was caramelized and added to it. Anyways, let me taste this first because I'm having the dry. Cheers, by the way.
Yes.
Sweet vermouth for you, dry vermouth for me. Yeah, I think we need to have more vermouth by itself.
Yeah.
Just as one aperitif wine, maybe some soda, as you said, or tonic water, and that would be a good mix. It's nice, it's dry, it's not very sweet. I wouldn't say it's dry like less than 5 grams of sugar. It's got more than that for sure. But the spices and the aromatics really help. It's very refreshing, and I can definitely see why I would have it as an aperitif before a meal, or even just to finish a meal, or at 5 p.m. or 3 p.m. anytime.
As I say, it is a wine at the end of it. So mine actually does taste like what a vermouth should, or what a sweet vermouth should. It does smell a little medicinal. It's got all of those herbs and shrubs and, those sort of elements going on. The warmth of the grape brandy is definitely there, but the sweetness is very well, induced into the overall beverage. I wouldn't mind having a few olives and a little bit of citrus peel in it just to cut through that sweetness so that I can drink more, or maybe add that tonic or soda that we were talking about. But again, as they say, a good vermouth is the one that you can drink by yourself rather than, using it in a cocktail or something of that sort. I don't think I would mind drinking it by itself.
So drink by itself, keep it refrigerated in small bottles. That's what you've told us to take away from this, right?
Yeah. And two things that I want to add to that is, because your vermouth at the end of the day is wine and wine is a living liquid, don't be surprised that if the flavors of your vermouths keep on changing while they are still in the bottle, not open, just in sealed bottles. And the second one is, and this is just a personal experience, I believe all of these big brands are beautiful, but the craft vermouths that I've tasted in Spain were absolutely beautiful. So my takeaway from this would be, a small batch vermouth, even though it is expensive, hard to find as well, will always deliver big flavors. So invest in that.
Well, till we go hunting and traveling again, we'll find them. But guys, this is 52 Drinks, 52 Weeks signing off. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.